Before I take the plunge and spend money on a physical manga to add to my collection, because I don't have any room left, nowadays I will sample things before I decide if I want to buy the physical or the digital. And there are quite a few different platforms that I use to sample my titles. Everything is legal, I'm just putting that out there. I use typically nowadays, I use Comic Days, Pixiv Comics, or Amazon Japan samples. Those are my top 3 that I use to sample all of my titles. All of them are in Japanese. And I wanted to talk a little bit about everything that I sampled last week and whether or not I am thinking of either buying the physicals, digitals, or I dropped it. Typically, I will only read the first chapter and then I'll talk about it on my blog and then I'll decide if I want to buy it from there or not. But there were a couple series that intrigued me enough that I actually read the entirety of the first volume, again legally, and I will talk about them all. The first series I sampled is called Derio no Oshigoto. This is a surprisingly wholesome series. I enjoyed the first chapter so much that I wanted to continue and read the entirety of the first volume. However, only the first chapter was available for free sampling, so that's where I had to stop. But I liked it enough that I do want to continue reading it digitally, I think. I don't think I'll add it to my physical collection, but I will absolutely buy the physical to read on. What's this story about? It is about a very, very otaku girl. She's a shut-in. She has difficulty leaving her house and interacting with other people, so she spends the majority of her time by herself in her bedroom. When it comes to being an otaku, specifically, she really resonates with one specific adult video game. And she has one specific character that she loves so much. And she likes this character enough that she wants to be able to better connect with this character. So she wants to try experiencing the same things that they have experienced. And so, in order to do that, she hires a call boy, I'll call him, to come over and help her figure things out. And before he comes, she's kind of embarrassed about her otaku-ness, so she puts white sheets over everything in her bedroom, like her computer stand, white sheets, her wall of video games and anime things all about this game, white sheets. So her house looks terrifying. And he comes and he sees the terrifying house filled with white sheets. And he doesn't say anything. He's super nice. He tries to make her comfortable, but she's really nervous. Eventually, she trips and hits play on a TV remote, and it plays the game that she's obsessed with, and she's really embarrassed. And it just happens to turn out that this callboy is actually also a really, really big fan of this game. And then the two of them start to bond, and instead of doing what he was hired to do, the two of them spend the entire day just playing the game together. And it was a really sweet series. I knew nothing about it when I went into it, and I really, really enjoyed it. We see, even just in the first chapter, a lot of growth from our female lead. We don't know much about the male lead yet, but we see a lot of growth from the female lead, as even at the end of the first chapter, without even thinking, she leaves her house by herself and is completely fine. And we don't even know how long it's been since she's last left her house comfortably. So it's that big of a deal. And I really liked it. I thought it was surprisingly really sweet. This I want to continue. The next volume that I read in its entirety, so I did read the entirety of volume 1, is called Futari de Koi suru Riyuu. This one, as well as the previous one, unfortunately do not have an English translation yet, fingers crossed. Futari de Koi suru Riyuu is completed in Japanese, but I just started. And I loved it so much. This is one I do want to add. I don't know, I want to add the physical to my collection, but because I already read all of volume 1, it's do I start my collection at volume 2? But then that'll look funny. I want to have the complete collection. Or do I just continue reading on Pixiv and just buy the next volume and read on from there and only own it digitally? I haven't really decided yet. But really, really fun series. This one is about, we have a young girl. So everybody's in high school in the series. Young girl, she made a promise to herself that the next time she develops feelings for somebody, she is going to act upon them. Because the last time she developed feelings for somebody, her friend did as well. And her friend asked her to support her feelings, and she said okay, and had to just forget about her own feelings. that really sucked for her. So going forward, she wants to enact her own feelings. She wants to put herself out there. And she's on the train one day and she's being accosted by an elderly man. A mysterious, ridiculously handsome guy comes up and saves her from the interaction. And it was love at first sight for her. And her friends tell her that, like, oh my God, like, handsome guy saved you. And you didn't exchange contact info, you didn't exchange anything. So if you see him again, it's fate and you have to date. And it just so happens that he is 1 year her senior at the same school. And they run into each other again, and she goes, it's fate, we have to date. And she tries really hard to get, like, into his social circle. She tries really hard to get in his good graces. And he's a very kind person, so he, like, is very accepting of her trying to talk to him. But his childhood best friend is not. And every time she tries to talk to him, the childhood best friend swoops in and does not let her talk to him at all. Where her crush is, like, the kindest, nicest person ever, the childhood best friend is like he's like a viper. Like, he's like, stay away. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. And it's a triangle series. We see, like, the two male leads, or the two potential male leads, are very, very different. Where the older one is more kind, laid back, very nice to everybody, but might have some secrets. And then the younger one, on the outside, he's very, like, vipery. He's like, stay away, like, don't come near me. But, like, if you peel back some layers, he's, like, surprisingly sweet. He gets easily flustered, blah, blah, blah. And that's how the story goes. Personally, I like the 1 year older guy. He has dark hair. I don't like a blonde male lead for some reason. And I hope that he ends up being the male lead, but I don't think he will. But we'll see. I'm really enjoying this one. Even though I'm really typically not a fan of triangles, there's just something about this one that I liked, but I'm not going to be happy if the blonde one ends up being the male lead, which I think he will be. The next one I read has a very long title. Okay, you ready? Okay. It is Kiraware Majo to Karada Irekawata Keredo Watashi wa Kyo no Genki ni kurashite imasu. As far as I know, there is no English translation for this one either. This one as well I read on Pixiv, and I surprisingly, again, really enjoyed it. I was only going to read the first chapter, but I read the entirety of the first volume. It was very good. The series is about, we have a young princess who from a very, very early age was decided to be the fiance of a crown prince. And her parents tell her straight up, like, hey, like, because you were born without any magical ability, your life is probably going to suck a lot, but you have to push through for the sake of the kingdom. And she goes, okay. So she goes over to meet the crown prince. He hates her instantly because she doesn't have any magical power, and kind of just banishes her to life in the magic tower until she turns 18, which is in like 10 years, because he really needs her to have magical powers to be the queen, to protect the country, blah, blah, blah. And even though she is stuck in a tower with no, like, she can't go outside, she's stuck in the tower for all those years, she's so upbeat and kind and friendly, and she really tries her best. And, like, she wins the hearts of basically all of the, like, the maids and all the staff in the magic tower. Like, everybody feels bad for her, but she's so kind that they end up really, like, rooting for her. And during her time in the magical tower, she is trained heavily, like, persistently, on how to use magic. But because she doesn't have any magical abilities, she can't do anything. So she understands, like, the theology to, like, a scary degree. She can't use it in practice. She can't apply all of the theory that she understands, which is probably really frustrating. On the day of her marriage ceremony, so they've been engaged for a while, on the day of her engagement ceremony, she comes to she leaves the magical tower for the first time, comes in front of everybody, does her best to make a display of her magic, and then her body is switched by an evil witch. So she goes to try and show her power. She sees somebody who looks exactly like herself. And then she wakes up in a dark dungeon. And she looks in a mirror, and her face is basically the same, just a little bit worse for the wear. So she switched bodies with an evil witch forcibly switched the two bodies. And somehow they look exactly the same. I don't know why. It hasn't been explained yet. And even though her body was forcefully switched, she's now in a like the same body, just kind of worse, and she's no longer the queen. She's ecstatic. She's so happy. As soon as she realizes her new situation, she's like, I don't have to worry about helping anybody. I can stay away from that god awful crown prince and I can use magic. Oh my god. And she's so happy. So she gets out of the creepy dungeon, goes upstairs, realizes she has her own little house all by herself. How nice. And she also sees that there is a spirit animal in the form of a cat there. And the cat explains to her, like, hey, I understand you have like a different soul, like you're a different person in that body, but that's the body of like the most hated witch. And the former crown princess was like, oh, I'll just be a good witch from now. Like, it's cool. And like she's just so sweet. Like, she doesn't really she thinks like if I did bad in the past, I'll just apologize and then I'll keep apologizing until I'm forgiven and then I'll only do good deeds from now and it'll be okay. And the cat's like, okay, like you're pretty hated. Like the before you entered that body, the witch literally stole the sun. Like you're pretty hated. And she's like, it's okay. I'll just give the sun back. It's okay. And then she does give the sun back. And we're shown her basically living her very, very happy life with the cat in a little cottage in the woods, using magic to her heart's content. And she's very good at using magic because, again, she studied theology for like 10 years. Like, how could she not be amazing at it? And then it ended, and I don't know where it goes from there. I don't know if it's like romance or just like happy slice of life because I've only read the first volume and there's no romance in the first volume. I don't know, but I am excited to read on, but this is one I'll be reading on digitally. Okay, next one. I read a lot. This one I didn't like as much. This one's called Furare Gal, or like Dumped Girl, I think would be like the English. This one as well. I'm pretty sure it's finished in Japanese because it's an older series. No English yet, which is surprising because it's an older series. This series is about, we have our female lead who, ever since she hit puberty, has had a lot of unwanted male attention. They say like she's sexy, she's so beautiful, like her body is amazing. So all of the men in her life, or like men just she passes in the street, find any excuse to talk to her. Like even when she's like 13, like it's disgusting. Going into high school now, she is ridiculously popular because her body is nice. Like basically she has a chest, so everybody loves her. Like it's, I don't like it. And she was dating a cram school teacher, so like a much older guy. And she loved him. She acted so prim and proper with him. She thought he saw her for who she was, not for her body. But all of a sudden one day he dumps her without like any reason why. And she realizes, oh, like he's just another guy using me for my body. Great. So she's upset. She doesn't want to deal with any men because all of the men only see her for her chest, basically. At school one day, one of her classmates comes up to her and asks her not to date, not to be his girlfriend, but to be his lover, which is like kind of weird in that scenario. She says no, like weird. And she does he asks her again. And she does tell him like really nicely, like a little bit too nicely in my opinion, that like, hey, like I literally just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm sad. I can't forget about him. It would be rude for me to date you while I'm still sad about him. So no. He doesn't take that as a rejection, though. He takes that as, all I have to do is make you forget about your ex. On it. And then from there, they like go on a couple of dates. And like it's a big rom-com. Like it's a very like funny series. Personally, I didn't enjoy this one all that much just because of all of the comments about her body. It made me kind of uncomfortable. We see the male lead who's trying to make her forget about her ex. Every time he so much as glances at her chest, he gets a nosebleed and then is like out of commission. And like, I just don't like it. It's just not for me. I understand like it's a rom-com, it's funny. He's too immature for my taste. Literally, he gets a nosebleed every time. And he's trying to show that like, I like you for more than your body. I like you for your personality, but I also like your body, just so you know. And just, it's not for me. I did read the entirety of the first volume because again, I was like, where does it go? I want to know. And it moved a little bit too fast for me. It was a little bit too like early 2000s jokey for me, and it just I'm not feeling it. Next up, this one also has a long title. This one is called Tensei shitara 15歳の Ouhi deshita. There's more, but I'm not going to read it. It's like teeny tiny font. This one, genuinely, I don't know if I like it or not. I couldn't decide. How much of it did I read? I read the entirety of the first volume, and I couldn't decide if I liked it or not. Basically, this is a reincarnation series. We have a girl who is in her, like, she's 28, I think. She's in her, like, late 20s. And she passes away due to exhaustion from overworking. When she wakes up, because obviously she wakes up in a new body, she is literally in a coffin because she entered the body of the recently passed away, like, new crown princess. And everybody's terrified. The crown prince comes and picks her up and takes her away. But when he picks her up, he literally takes away her voice and her bodily movements, like, with magically. He's like, you need to be quiet. And she's like, where am I? What's happening? Who are you? And he's like, zoop, and he takes away her voice. When he picks her up, she tries to, like, put me down because she can't talk. So she's, like, kind of flailing about. He's like, shoop, and he takes away her ability to move. Like, I don't like that. But he takes her back to his castle and he explains, like, hey, like, you're not the original crown princess, are you? Like, your soul came from a different body, didn't it? And she's like, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to tell you. And he tells her, like, I'm chill with it, but you have to be careful because there might be some people who come and try and, like, capture you if they find out, which is weird. We're not really told why, but okay. So she's kind of scared. She realizes she kind of has to rely on this guy if, like, strangers are going to try and capture her. Like, it's kind of scary. But he's also scary because he doesn't understand what consent is. He has no problem using his magic to take her voice away, like, at all. I really don't like him. And then we're learning a little bit more about them. And then all of a sudden, a ghost comes and literally blows the crown prince away, which, like, good. And this ghost is the same body of the female lead because it is the ghost of the original, like, crown princess. And she explains that she hates the crown prince so much, in fact, that the night she got there, she tried to run away. And then she slipped and fell down a cliff and passed away. And now she's a ghost. That just shows how awful he is. Like, she passed away trying to run away from him because she hated him so much, and I understand why. And the ghost explains to the female lead that, like, hey, like, obviously you need my help because you're in a new body, in a new world with this sucky crown prince. You need my help. I'm going to stick around and help you. And then the female lead and the ghost become friends. And the ghost tries to explain to her, like, hey, like, I'll help you out, but what do you want to do with your life? Like, let me help you do what you want to do. And the two girls decide that it would be good for her just to have a chill life away from the crown prince where nobody can hurt her. That's what they set up to do. But the crown prince does not want to let her go, like, at all, because he's stupid and he sucks. And he tries to explain to the female lead in the new crown princess's body, that, like, hey, you shouldn't get too chummy with that ghost because she's a vengeful spirit because of me. She hates me so much that she's vengeful, so stay away from her. And that's kind of where it ends. We don't really know who the female lead can actually trust because the crown prince is stupid and I hate him and I wouldn't trust him. But then also, is the ghost actually a vengeful spirit, or is he just saying that so that she doesn't get any allies beside him? I don't know. This is one, I don't know. I want to continue it because I'm like, where does it go? Like, I do want to know, but I also hate the male lead. So I'm like, do I want to expose myself to more of him? I don't know. So I might continue digitally. I'm going to see if I can read it using coins so that I can, like, wait to read. I'm going to see if that's an option. The last one that I read, is one I actually really, really liked, and it is called Toshi Densetsu Kaitai Center. Parallel file. This was really entertaining for me. When I first started reading it, it felt, like, surprisingly familiar. And I realized after I read just the first chapter, because the first volume is not free to read, it's a game. It's from a game on Steam. And it also has a light novel that I have not read, but I knew it from the game on Steam. And I didn't play the game, but it had been recommended to me, and I watched some gameplay, and I was like, I put it in my cart, and I never bought it because I'm poor. But I might buy it now because I really like the first chapter. This is a series about, we have a girl who, oh, I read this on Comic Days, by the way. So that's why I only read the first chapter. But we have a girl who has a curious affliction. She's able to see basically ghosts, basically. And when she was younger and this was exposed to her classmates, they found her to be kind of weird. So now that she's a little bit older, she keeps the secret to herself. But she wants to get rid of this affliction. Like, she doesn't want to be able to see ghosts. She wants to be a normal girl. So she finds a flyer one day for the, like, what would it be called in English? The Urban Myth Solving Center or something like that. And she goes and she tries to be like, hi, like, do an introduction, but they already know who she is. Doesn't need an introduction. And they want to hire her. And she tries to say, like, I don't want to be hired. Like, I want you to get rid of this problem for me. And they trick her. A lot happens. She has to work for them. And the man that tricked her, the man that kind of like runs the center, is in a wheelchair. So he has some difficulties physically going out into the field to do the job. So he needs her to go out into the field and help him with the job. And what is the job? Basically, it's investigating urban myths and urban legends. So people will contact the center when something supernatural happens to them, and then somebody from the center will go out and investigate. And that's her job, to investigate. Because she can see supernatural things, she's the perfect person to work for the center. And the very first client is actually one of her classmates. And the urban legend that is troubling her is called the man under the bed, and it's terrifying. It's really spooky. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. And when she goes there, she really doesn't understand what to do because she was literally just told, go investigate. And that was it. So she goes to investigate, but she doesn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, in her mind, she can hear the voice of the man that kind of forced her to take the job, because he's like telekinetic or something. I don't know. And he like opens her eyes through telekinesis. I don't know. And like helps her see the ghosts and stuff. And together, they had two of them like investigate stuff. It's really interesting and it's spooky, and I really want to continue. And I don't know, I want to play the game. I don't know. I've heard people say that the game is pretty different from the manga. I don't know. I might play the game and then buy the manga physically. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I do want to play the game. I know I'm probably not going to read the light novel just because I have a big backlog of light novels to read, but I am very interested and I want to know more. And this seems like the kind of game that I would love to play because I like spooky stuff, but I can't play spooky games like Silent Hill or something because I get really stressed and then I'll die and I'll never move on. But this is the kind of game I feel like it's more like it's slower. So even if I get spooked, I can still like play, or I can like pause and like take a deep breath and then continue on. But yeah, that's everything I read. I sampled more than I physically read last week. That's just how it goes sometimes, I guess.